What's going on, guys? Lotus would have here back with another video. This is part 2 of what if Deku and Minora were kicked, no, betrayed. Quite honestly speaking, the only reason I'm making part 2 right now was because this shit has been getting a whole lot of hype ever since I posted it. Like, I posted this last night, like the same thing that happened with what if Deku was in Plunder happened like with this what if. Posted it like a few hours ago, and then like I already have a whole lot of people saying part two and shit like that. So I'm like, alright, then let's get into it. So last I left off, Deku, he is sitting, would I say under or behind? No, Minora is sitting on top of Deku, yes, which Deku is asleep on her head. Now, Aizawa acknowledged their existence and said you're here and stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna go to what happened after that. So Aizawa basically doing classes regular. They're not doing training at the moment, so yeah, they're just talking about like the fundamentals for the quirk understanding, shit like that. So then, right as the bell rings, it's time for Midnight's class. As Midnight said, they have group projects and stuff like that, and Bakugo keeps yelling. So Deku, getting annoyed by this, gets up. He looks like this. Deku gets up and he goes to Bakugo and says, and Bakugo looks at him and says, "Huh? What do you want?" As Deku says, "I'm not gonna do anything, but I'm only gonna ask you this twice. Be quiet." As he just goes back and, well, Minoru gets up and sits on his lap again, to which Deku falls back asleep. Now he does that a second time. Now he talks a lot a second time, but it was after a minute after Deku said to be quiet. Then Deku got up and said shut up this time. And Bakugo did it again immediately after Deku sat down and went to sleep. And Deku, he got absolutely pissed by this. He's not pissed to the point where he would kill them, but he is pissed to the point where he does not have a problem with severely injuring Katsuki Bakugo. As he gets up and he goes to Bakugo, as Bakugo gets up as well and gets into Deku's face. As Minora, which looks like this, hold on, god damn it. Which looks like this, says out loud, "Your first mistake was getting up in his face." And Bakugo says, "Huh? First mistake? You think I'm scared of him?" As he proceeds to poke Deku's chest. Minora says, "Second mistake, intimidating him." As Bakugo says, as he pushes Deku. As Minora says, "Third mistake, starting a fight." To which Bakugo says, "I don't care," and charges with Deku with his hands glowing red. To which Deku grabs Bakugo's head, slams him on the desk, then on the wall, and then starts choking him out on the wall. And he looks Bakugo right in the eyes, and his eyes, remember they had this mark that was black, it immediately turned to red. To which Deku looks Bakugo straight in the eyes and says, "If you ever, and I mean ever, in your life, that means your life right now, your life after death, your reincarnated life, ever do that to me again, I promise you, you will not be able to stand, nor will you be able to say that you are a living human being." As everybody in the class are scared, and Ida gets up and said, "You should not be threatening your classmates." As Deku, he goes right in front of Ida and says, "Oh yeah? Well then, tell me, what the hell are you gonna do about it? Or the teachers? Or the principal? Because I don't see any of you staying in my way, do I now?" As Minora says, he also made a mistake, intimidating him, telling him what to do. Wow, there's a lot of people making mistakes here. I wonder how long it'll be until you all die to him. as Deku does the same thing he did to Bakugo, but this time he is dragging Ida by the leg and goes all the way to Bakugo and chokes him again. As he takes Bakugo and Ida, looks both of them in the eyes and says, 1. I'm not playing games with you. 2. You can call everybody in this school a fucking extra, or classmate, or friend. But know this, me and Minora, no, me and my girlfriend, yeah, me and my girlfriend, forget that he didn't say Minora, because if he did, the class would know it's him and Deku, her and Deku, as he says, me and my girlfriend are not one of them. Because, so help me, when the time comes that you will die, you won't die from villains. Oh no, you'll die from me. As he throws Ida at the wall and sends Bakugo flying out of the wall all the way into the yard. As he goes back to his seat and, well, Minora sits on his lap as he falls back asleep. As right before that, as he was closing his eye, the mark in his eye, which is this, slowly turns back to black. Now, if you don't remember what Deku's power is time and stars. He has the power of stars and time. As for Minora, she has the power of space and planets, alright? Alright then. So, Deku went to sleep as Bakugo and Ida had to go to Recovery Girl. They had to be rushed there, alright? As Midnight is frightened, saying, what the hell happened to these two? As Minora looks at Midnight and says, don't say anything about us. As Midnight, she's frightened and says, oh, okay. As now, we skip to right when they come back, when the two come back. Bakugo sits down and says, stupid extra, you were just lucky. As Deku, he hears this. Sure, he knew it was coming, but he heard this. As he opens one of his eyes, and he says, if I was so lucky, why did you have to go to Recovery Girl? Because I don't recall saying that luck was a thing that I had, nor was it my quirk. So, if it was luck, let's see what you can do in a real battle. As he proceeds to get up, grab Bakugo by the hair, and jumps off. To which he throws Bakugo right in the training ground beta, on top of a building, alright? So take in mind, Bakugo is already hurt. As Deku, he jumps on that same building and says, since I was so lucky, show me what you're really capable of. As everybody in the class go to where it is, as Minora says, oh, this is gonna be a difficult one. As everybody in the class says, what do you mean? As she says, oh, this is not my problem anyways. I'll let him handle it. As she proceeds to go walk back into the class. As all of a sudden, Uraraka grabs Minora's shoulder. As Deku yells out from the building, mistake 1, never grab my girlfriend by the shoulder. And that's trying to assert a dominance with her. And if you try to assert dominance with her, you will get killed. Hold on. So yeah, she turns around. She still has the same facial expression, but what's different is her eyes are blood red this time. As she says, what are you doing? As Uraraka says, I'm stopping you from leaving. Now tell us, what do you mean by what you said? As Deku says, number 2, trying to make her to repeat herself. As Minora says, let go. As she slaps Uraraka's hand off her shoulder, and Uraraka grabs it again. Deku. Number 3, try to assert dominance again. Well then, looks like your time of living has come. We will see you in the next life. As Minora grabs Uraraka by the hair and throws her on that same building next to Bakugo. As she drops next to Deku, as Deku says, this is unexpected, hold on. So yeah, Deku says this is an unexpected predicament. As Minora said, well, they had it coming. They tried to assert dominance with us. As Deku says, alright, let's make this quick. As Bakugo gets up and says, what do you mean make this quick? We're gonna blast you guys to hell. As Uraraka says, yeah! As Moon Knight doesn't know what to do. As she just calls Nezu and the other teachers as Nezu says what's going on here. As Deku looks at Nezu, and Nezu gets this overwhelming pressure that there is an animal about to eat him. As Deku looks at him and says, you know, for a rat, you really are nosy. And noisy at that as well. Now then, shut up. As Nezu, Deku is keeping a calm ass expression while saying this. As then Ida comes back in and says, that's no way to talk to your superiors. To which All Might says, yeah. And Deku, he is furious. And Deku, the white parts of his eye turn black. The pink part, it turns blue. And this part turns crimson red. As Deku goes down and not only grabs All Might by the throat, but Ida as well, and throws them on top of the building. As Minora says, I'll be taking mines to the next over, as Deku says, go ahead. To which Deku's hair, it basically has the effect of Super Saiyan, basically, but it doesn't change color as his hair starts to flow upwards. As Deku, this aura comes around him, and he says, you know, I'm really gonna have to kill you for that. As Bakugo thinks, yeah, right, as all three charge, but all of a sudden, Deku appears right in front of All Might and punches him to the neck, to the, building in front of the building that they're on. As he goes next to Ida and slams Ida right down, through every floor. Take in mind, this is a 6-story building, so there are exactly 16 floors, and Deku made sure that it was 16 on purpose, so that he could slam them. He was planning to do it to Bakugo, but Ida had it coming by saying, that is no way to speak to your superiors. As Deku does that, and he's keeping a calm ass expression while doing it too. So imagine somebody who's out for blood being so calm. That is basically what I would do. I would be out for blood and having a calm ass expression. I'm dead ass. As Deku, he grabs Bakugo by the hair. Not only lifting up Bakugo, he throws Bakugo in the air, to which their heads are aligned together. Deku, he swings Bakugo forward and hits his face inside Deku's kneecap. The kneecap strike that was given to Bakugo at that very moment, everyone watching knew that Bakugo will be in the hospital for months. As Deku, he beat both Ida and Bakugo and All Might to a bloody pulp. Like deadass. They could basically be swimming in the same blood. And, alright. I know there was a comment saying I sidetracked too much. This is not really a sidetrack. This is actually, to the what if prior, when I was talking about the whole quirk thing and the blood. Yeah, so here's the thing. About the whole quirk thing. You said it's basically the quirk genes or the genes. Alright, first of all, like I said, there's such thing as DNA extraction. You can put the DNA inside a container, and they will gradually fuse over time. Now, and you guys are talking about like, oh, what about the quirk activation gene? Alright. That is the hard part. Not that it's hard to get, but, well, it is hard to get, but it depends on your chances, basically. Once it fuses, you either have a chance of getting the quirk activation gene or not. So it mostly depends on your luck or, well, chance. So you can still get it, but it's mostly up to chance. So you can still get it from blood since you have the DNA sample of both you and that person, but it depends on whether luck or fate is on your side and so forth. So yeah, after that's explained, now let's get back to it. He beats them to a bloody pulp. Now we cut back to Uraraka and Minora, as Minora says, I'm not even gonna try with you. As, oh my god. She makes a hand signal for come here, and Uraraka, she starts flying towards Minora's hand, as Minora grabs Uraraka by the neck and slams her into the building. As Uraraka is knocked out since she has a really frail body due to her fucking quirk. Now, I'm not gonna lie, if I had Uraraka's quirk, not only will I make that quirk strong as fuck, but that shit could even destroy gods. Why? Because, alright then, let's get into this. Let's get into how Deku and Monora's quirk are so strong. First of all, it's not because of the training only. It's because of their understanding of the quirk, or to be exact, their relationship to the quirk and their emotions. See, those two. See, your quirks work based on your emotions, like All For One. His quirk gave him a hunger for power because he wanted to be stronger and to get One For All back. And the stockpiling thing for One For All was based to, happened because, of All For One's little brother who wanted to stop his brother. Now with Aizawa's quirk, the only reason why he can only stop quirks in his range of sight is because he focuses too much on his sight and not his surroundings. If he focused more of his surroundings, he could have probably done it. So yeah, Inko, she got short, like I said before in a what if before that, because her emotions spiraled out of control, forcing her to go into, depression, and, that forced her quirk to activate on its own, making it to the point where it reforms her body, and you get the gist. So yeah, that's the end of it. So those two, they got a really good handle on their quirks. They got to the point where they can understand their quirks without even speaking to one another. Alright? Maybe wondering, what it means talking? I'm not talking about like talking with words, but feelings. Alright? They understand each other through feelings. Both the user and the quirk. So yeah. So I know Deku didn't have a quirk, but Deku had reminiscences of One For All. But he abandoned those reminiscences, but the One For All users still cared about Deku, so they let it fuse with his abilities. Now, with Deku's time abilities, see, the time thing on his tongue, yeah, it still works with him, but it still works with him because he has a good connection to it. It's just that he just doesn't want to use it a lot, and the the power understands that. So yeah. So I'll probably be doing What If Deku was Superman, because out of everything I know, Superman is probably the second the strongest. The strongest being in Marvel, in DC, sorry. Why? And you may be thinking, but what about Darkseid? Compared to Superman, Darkseid is weak. Because I have never heard of anyone saying that Darkseid has held infinity. Yes, because Superman has held a black hole with the help of Shazam. So, and black holes are infinite, hold infinites of weight. Like I said, black holes have infinites of space inside of it, so it's gonna weigh a lot. Now then, after Uraraka gets knocked the fuck out, Deku, he jumps to Minora and says, "Are you ready to go?" As Minora says yes. As they go right in front of Nezu, as Deku bends down and he pats Nezu on the head and says, "Have fun," as he walks away with Minora. As Nezu is scared as hell. Now, they will have pets, or to be exact, and pets or a spiritual form, basically like a spirit animal, and I will show you them. Alrighty then. So yeah, this is Deku's celestial beast. Well, the first form. Alright, their celestial beasts have two forms. Alright, they both have a beast and one is a dragon. They're both celestial beings, which means they are the perfect being. This is Deku's, and this is Minora's. Take in mind, Deku only used this one on Nezu. So Nezu does not know about the dragon. And this is the second form of Minora's. And this is the dragon form of Deku's, alright? Alright then, remember that. They're gonna be useful. Alright? Remember those guys. They're gonna be useful in the future. So, they get back to this class. They sit in the same position as this time, after getting healed up by Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl wants to know who put them in so much pain. Who beat them to a bloody pulp, and she wants to go to the class and meet them. And Nezu says, alright then, all of us teachers will go. As All Might says, I'll go as well. As take in mind, Class 1A are basically minding their business, standing outside of Recovery Girl's office, waiting for Bakugo, Ida, and All Might. As take in mind, Aizawa knows damn well who did that. So does Nezu and Midnight. So they all go to the class as Recovery Girl sees this person laying down on this person. As Uraraka already got up, as Recovery Girl says, are they the ones that did that to All Might, Bakugo, and Ida? As Midnight says, no, just the boy. As Recovery Girl says, wait, what? As she says, then who did that? Then what did that girl do? As she says, oh, she's the one who knocked out Uraraka. As they mean, oh, as Minora says in a quite bored tone, says, you know, I can hear you from all the way over there, right? As they all look and say, wait, you can hear us? As Minora says, yes, I can hear you. And so can he. As take in mind, Minora's parents and Izuku's mom did not hear about the news about them not being the UA traitor. Because ever since they watched the news, they do not want to go into contact with the outside world, which means they do not even want to open the TV because they just feel like they'll see news about their kids being villains and running away and shit like that. As Deku, he's minding his own business, does not care. Like, the parents do not care, they don't even know where they are. As Deku, he's just minding his own business with Minora. As Deku says, tell him to shut up. As Minora says, yeah, I got you. As Minora says, he said shut up. As Ida's about to say, and why should we? To which Aizawa covers his mouth and says, did you forget what just happened to you? As Ida thinks back and says, you're right, I should stop. As he shuts up. As Minora looks at Recovery Girl and says, you're lucky I'm not like him. Because if I was, he would have been she would have been in the same position as that supposed All Might and those two dumbasses. As Bakugo says, who are you calling a dumbass? As he goes to throw an explosion at Minora, to which Deku grabs Bakugo's hand and pulls Bakugo down, to which he is laying down on Minora's lap, and he pulls him down to Minora's lap, and looks Bakugo straight in the eye. Bakugo thinking it's soft, but then remembers, oh wait, this is the guy in front of me's girlfriend, so if I show that, well, it's soft, and shit, I'm going to fucking die if I do anything else. As Deku looks him straight in the eyes and says, one, you can attack me. You can do anything to me to try to cause me harm. But what I will not accept is you attacking my girlfriend. Not only are you wishing for death, but you're wishing for not being you're also wishing to be unable to reincarnate. See, you can hit me all you want. My girlfriend, she's not one of them. She'll go easy on you. I don't. Sure, I'm not using that much of my power to beat your ass, but still, it's considered easy on human terms. I have the level of human abilities. If I had my true abilities, let's just say it wouldn't have end well for you like it did. As Bakugo, he says, as he just walks off, storms off out of the room, slamming the door. As Nazu still feels the aura around Deku of the beast. Remember, it's this beast. As Deku looks at Nezu and says, "Don't you have work to do? Why aren't you in your office?" As Nezu says, I came to see how the class is going. As Deku says, "Oh, you came to see how the class is going? Well, look at that. Your appearance is not needed anymore. Now scram!" As Nezu, he gets frightened and runs out. As everybody's wondering what the hell happened to Nezu. He's tough. What scared him? As nobody else can feel the pressure. So, yeah. So, I guess we should skip to the USJ. Possibly, yeah. Possibly. As no, last day. No, at the end of the day. Yeah, end of the day. Hold on. Okay, where was I? Right. Sorry for the awkward silence. I was eating a cookie, so yeah. So Nezu ran out. Everybody's wondering why, but we don't care. Now to the end of the day. It's the end of the day. As Nezu approaches them and says, would you like to join the dormitory system? And immediately, Deku and Minora at the same time equally says no. But Deku says it different. He says, fuck no. Which means, which you can probably guess by now, Deku ain't taking shit. Alright? He ain't taking shit from anyone. Unless you're his teacher, he's not taking shit from you. Unless you're the three teachers that him and Minoru had, he is not taking shit from you. Oh, and I forgot to say this. He learned a little bit of space and planet magic from, what was the shit? What was the name I gave him? Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, so his name was Hex. That's the name I gave him. Alright, so, yeah. Unless you were either Hex, Chronos, or Alfecta, you have no damn right to order him around. Alright? Because he does not take shit from anyone. His level of space magic, no, or star magic, is at the same level of Alfecta. And he has the same thing that Alfecta wears except for the robe. Why? Because that's a female robe and Deku is not wearing a female robe. Well, he has that same robe, but instead, like, you see the front part of the robe, it's actually quite longer. Like, you see where the parts of the robe start separating, it's actually longer. It starts separating at, his knees, alright? His knees, not his ankle, no. His knees, alright? It starts separating at his knees. So he has the crown too, but the crystals are not really the same color. For him, the crystals are either pink or purple, alright? For hers, it's blue and purple, but Deku's, it's pink and purple, alright? So yeah. So, time magic, he's at the strength of Chronos. As for space magic, let's just say if he combined all of his powers, he could body Hex in one move, alright? Same goes for Minora. She learned a little bit of space magic. For Minora's space magic, it's basically the robe represents how strong you are. For her, like compared to Alfecta, she has the robe but without the extensions, alright? Without the extension parts where the space things are, basically. So yeah, she's not as strong as Alfecta. Hold on. Oh, okay. I was just rambling on for no fucking reason whatsoever. Alright, so this is the second time I've done this. So after he said fuck no and disrespected the teachers for shit, and Minora has somewhat of an affinity for time, so she has 1/4 of the full power of Deku at her disposal. She doesn't take power from Deku, remember, she does not take the power from Deku. It's her own power, alright? So yeah, so she has a little bit of an affinity. So they go home, and Deku hit. I'm gonna just say Deku hits. Yeah, Deku hit. So let's do it like about how it worked. Alright, so they got home. Deku took a nap for about an hour. And about like when he woke up from that hour, he saw Minora cooking in an apron. Now, if you don't know where this is going, I suggest any kid that is under 13 years old. Because if you are a kid under 13 years old, you wouldn't understand what happens when you wear an apron around a man. Especially if you're cooking. Which means if you are in front of a counter or a stove and you are cooking with an apron on, best be aware of the future and outcomes. Alright? Quite honestly, size doesn't matter, so any or the mediums, size does not matter. I want you guys to know this, alright? Alright then. So Deku went behind, starts rubbing his fingers around the place. He starts rubbing it down there. And Monora, see, she kind of a tsundere when it comes to that part. She just closes her eye, well, her left eye, and twitches a little bit as Deku starts fingering it a little bit. Nora puts her hand behind her back and starts touching his, just rubbing it up and down. As she pulls down the pants and she goes on her knees and let's just say she has a lollipop in her hand and she just licks it, alright? She's just licking a lollipop. She dropped her lollipop, she picked it up and she was sucking it and stuff like that. And she got to the good part and gum went inside her mouth. All right, we're just gonna say that. All right, gum went inside her mouth, and she unconsciously swallowed it, quote unquote unconsciously. All right, all right, all right then. Put quotation marks around the unconscious part. All right, she unconsciously swallowed it. Yeah. Yeah. She swallowed on the lollipop before that happened, though. Yeah. And then she got up and Deku gave her a pipe. And she put the pipe into a hole to fix that hole. Alright? And a lot of water, white water, came inside of the pipe. But thankfully, they put a pill that they got plan B, alright? They got plan B, birth control and shit like that. So yeah, like I said, if you're a kid under 13 and under, do not ask your parents what this means, because I promise you this, your parents won't tell you what this means. Why? Because they're glad I'm telling you this the way I am telling it. Because if I said it any other way, I would get you in trouble. And I'm promising you this now, you do not want to get in trouble for this. Alright, kid? You'll learn about you'll understand what I'm talking about when you're in middle school. So, yeah. So, a school I recommend for middle school is possibly my 11, but that's if only if you live in my area. So yeah, yeah. So Deku, he does that. He pipes her a little bit, and as the white liquid went inside her, as she yelled out a lot of happiness because the water's running. Yeah, she yelled out of happiness. She said, "Yay!" Or she said sound. Yeah. Yeah, she yelled in happiness. She yelled in happiness due to the water running as So yeah, that's where I'm gonna be leaving that part off for now. And then like she gets back to cooking as Deku goes and takes a shower as she puts the food in front of him as Deku says, I'll wait. As she says, wait for what? As he says, go take a shower. As she says, okay, goes, takes a shower, comes back, and Deku fell asleep in front of the food. Like dead ass. Like I'm the type of person to say I'll wait and dead ass fall asleep in front of the food. Like Deku fell asleep in front of the food and Minora had to keep poking him and saying, babe, wake up, wake up, wake up. To which Deku finally woke the fuck up. So yeah. She woke up. As this house is important as well. Holds a lot of importance in this, especially in the training camp arc. So yeah. Yeah. So they eat, they take a shower together, and oh, look at that, another pipe was broken. Minora dropped the soap. Shit. She dropped the soap, so Deku had to get up, had to walk forward. He had soap in his eyes, and he had to walk forward and wash his face. As Minora backed up a little bit because she got the soap, and she also fixed the pipe, and she yelled in happiness again. So yeah, as now it's time for bedtime. Minora was feeling hot, so she took off her shirt. Deku was feeling hot as well, so she took off his shirt. As Minora was also feeling a lot hot. It was really hot. It was about 100 degrees Celsius. Minora took off her pants, basically all her clothes, and yeah. There's no such thing as freak in the sheets. Yeah. As oh, look at that. Oh wow. Damn. Oh no. One of the railings on the bed broke. Looks like we gotta fix it again. It took them an hour to fix it. Oh my god, they had to get water, but the pipe was broken again. They fixed it, and oh, as you know, a lot of water came running, and that happened for an hour. Yeah. So, we skipped the next day, or a week, as it's how they're gonna be doing the USJ. As, so, yeah. So, they're talking on the bus as Mina asked a wonderful question to Minora. Did you guys do it? As Bakugo says, of course they didn't do it. As Deku says, yup, we did it. As Bakugo, he shuts up real quick and says, what? As Ida gets up and says, you should not be talking about your private life like that. As Deku says, wasn't one of the classmates the one that asked about my private life? As Ida, he got quiet and sat the fuck down. Cause Deku, he does not take shit from anyone. As Mina says how much times, Minora is blushing and says, you don't have to know about that. Deku says, no, she has to know. She needs to grow up. You need to experience it yourself. I'm about to tell you how it goes. So she tells them exactly how it went. Alright, she tells me exactly how it went, if you could, well, imagine it. Alright, if you imagine what I said, if you can imagine it, you can imagine it. If you can't, you can't. Alright, don't ask your parents to imagine it for you. So yeah. Last time I watched the Inazuma 11 was 2 years ago. That's crazy. So yeah, Mina hearing all the juicy parts and says, how big is he? As Deku says, as Minora says, no, we're not gonna say that. Deku says, no. I'm about to assert dominance over all these boys. As Deku says, 20-inch. As all the boys in class 1A look down. Bakugo got the 2mm defeater. Kirishima got the high five, or low five to be exact. Yeah. Alright, so yeah. Dinky also has the 2mm defeater. As all the girls are blushing, saying, "Oh my god, it's that big." As Todoroki got the oh no. Half size toothpick. Oh no. As Momo blushes. As Todoroki looks at Deku and says, "Yo, I'm gonna have to stop you right there." As Deku says, "Try me, bitch. I'll send you dragging out this bus. Don't play me. Don't play with me. This is not the time to act smart with me. Especially if it's you. Cause you think I don't know about you? I know about your past. Oh yeah. I know everything about your past. I know your pops, your moms, your sister, your brothers. Oh, don't play with me." As he knows, "Do you know where my brother Toy is?" As he says, "Yes, I do. But I'm not gonna tell you. Why? Because I don't give a damn about your family problems. You find out who he is on your own." As Todoroki's pissed and he goes to attack Deku with ice. Deku slaps the motherfucker out of him. Like, dead ass. He slaps a motherfucker out of him. And Deku stands on top of him and says, "I'm about to slap that fire quirk out your body. I swear to God." As he starts slapping the living shit out of him. Like, all you just see is Deku on top of him just slapping the living crap out of him. And then, right as his, like, he made sure that Todoroki's left side does not get numb. Todoroki is feeling immense pain on that side as he unconsciously awakens the fire. As Deku says, "Oh, look at that, it's flames. Now let's do the ice at the same time too." As he unconsciously activates ice. As he uses both to get Deku off, Deku says, "Buddy, you're not at that level yet." Cause Deku, he got the star body and space body, so he's not really playing, and the time body, so he's not really playing with them. And the planet body as well. Yeah, they both have the same power, but they're on different levels. For space and planets, Deku is lower than Minora, and for stars and time, Minora is weaker than Deku. As they get inside the USJ, as everybody in the class is about to go inside, as Deku says, "Nah, get the fuck back." As he just walks in with Minora, as Aizawa tries to go in, as he pushes Aizawa back and the door closes. As they're like, as everybody thinking they were trying to save us, so they do care. In reality, Deku didn't give a damn about them. He just wanted to beat the living shit out the villains himself. So the villains go out to see Deku laying down on Minora's lap, right on the staircase, and Shigaraki says, "Who are these brats? I thought All Might was gonna be here." As 13 was there too, but Deku pushed 13 out. He pushed 13 out. He wasn't playing with 13. He was like, "Get the fuck out. Get out. Nobody needs you." As they could open the door again by themselves, but they was like, "Nah, I want to beat the living shit out the villains." As that happens, so Kurogiri could have got beaten in the USJ. Aizawa, all he has to do is look at a person, right? All he has to look at is look at a person. If they're in his range of sight, their quirk gets cancelled. But I don't think he would stop trying to get Oboro. So yeah. So Deku, he says, as he gets up from Minora's shoulder, "Hold on." As Deku gets up from Minora's lap and says, Alright, you crackheads. I'm gonna give y'all two options. A, you turn back the fuck around and walk the fuck out of this place and not get hurt. Or B, you try to cause a crime in here and you die here instantly, without any regrets. As Minora says, "What do you mean, no regrets? They already had no regrets killing all those people." As Deku says, "Fair point. Let me rephrase that. You try to cause a crime in here and you fucking die. And no mercy is given to you. Remember that." As Shigaraki says, "Get him!" As they all try to get to Deku and the villains are yelling, "Oh my god, who is this brat?" Thinking he could have beat us. As Deku proceeds to get up, he takes his mask off for once in his life. And they just see his tongue and they see this as Deku says, stop. As every villain except for Shigaraki stops, which means Kurogiri is stopped as well. As Shigaraki says, what? Kurogiri, get us out of here. As Kurogiri can't hear him. Why? Because time stopped around him, which means his hearing as well. Which means his reaction speed, alright? So, Shigaraki says, wait, why isn't he moving? As Deku says, you're the only one that can move. So then, what'll it be? Get the fuck out or die. Oh wait, you can't leave. So your only choice is death. As he proceeds to go near the villain, as all of a sudden in his hand, a little star appears. As Deku, he puts it in the he throws it in the air, and the marks of the star start appearing on every villain's head, which means this mark. It was not an 8-pointed star, it was a 4-pointed star. So basically, this mark appears on all of the villain's head as Deku says go and puts the mask back on, and all the villains start moving as the villain said what happened. As Deku says boom, as this is going to be based on how stars explode or supernovas are made. So, instead of it being the core that gets pressure put on it, sure, humans have their own core as well, but we're not doing it on the human core. We're applying pressure to the heart and the core at the same time. So, as pressure is being put onto the core, it gets harder for the villains to move and for them to breathe. As it's getting hard for their heart to beat. So it's kind of hard for them to pump blood all over their whole body. And immediately they drop to their knees due to lack of blood circulation to the legs. Then their arms go to sleep or lose blood circulation and die out. They start getting grayish blue. Then they're about to die as Deku says, alright, I guess it's time. Kaboom. As their whole skin and muscles expand and they explode. As Shigaraki and Kurogiri sees this, as Minora says, alright then, what do we do with those two? As Deku says, well, I want to keep one of them as a souvenir. As he goes to Kurogiri and says, you look fairly fun to toy with. I'll be taking you. As Kurogiri tries to make a portal for Shigaraki's hand to go to, as Deku snaps his finger and the portal that Kurogiri made closes on Shigaraki's hand, cutting his hand off. As Shigaraki's yelling in pain, as Kurogiri's like, how? As Shigaraki says, Kurogiri, what the hell is wrong with you? As Kurogiri says, that wasn't me. As Deku says, he's right, that wasn't him. That was actually me. As Deku grabs Kurogiri, squeezes his head, and presses a nerve in the head, knocking Kurogiri out. As he says, I'll be taking him. Now, it's your turn. Ready to die? As he walks forward to Shigaraki, but sadly Shigaraki gets teleported away by All For One. So, yeah. So, Shigaraki gets killed by All For One, and shit like that. So, now, we cut back to when the heroes arrive. The heroes make a big kaboom through the door, and just see Deku just laying down on Minora's lap as Kurogiri is legitimately under Deku's feet. Like, he is legit under Deku's feet. He is under Deku's feet as Deku is taking a fucking nap. Deku didn't just knock out Kurogiri, that nigga is out cold. He passed out. He is done for. Until Deku wants him to wake the fuck back up, he's not waking up. So, the heroes arrive and said, where are the villains? As Minora says they're dead. As everybody says, what? What do you mean they're dead? As Minora says, he killed them. As that happens, like, the class still don't know that it's Izuku and Minora, like, at all. Like, the teachers know it's them, but, like, none of the students know. As they're only gonna find out at the sports festival. So, I'm gonna take a nap real quick. I'm gonna be paused. To you guys, it's just gonna be like a 1 second pause. For me, it's gonna be like a whole few minutes. So I'm gonna be taking a nap. Hold on. Okay, after being awoken by a TikTok song after 30 minutes. Alright, so. Shit. I barely stand after that fucking nap. Oh god. So, yeah. They heard that they died, and they're like, who killed him? As Deku, he puts up his hand while in his sleep and say, I told you to die. Why aren't you dead? As the teachers are like, wait, did he kill them? As Minora says, As the teacher says, well, then he's under arrest for murder. As Deku, he slowly wakes up to see that they're trying to handcuff him. Like they have one hand handcuffed as Deku sees this. And he opens his eyes. Like this man opens his eyes in the most calm tone. He says, do you have an explanation for what you're doing? As Aizawa says, well, you killed people, so you're under arrest. Deku says, as Deku, he gets up and says, as he snaps and the handcuffs around his arm breaks, including the ones in Aizawa's hand. And the teacher's like, what the hell? As Deku says, first off, how long has it been since they came? As Bernard says, 2 minutes. You've been asleep for at least 35. As he says, oh, alright then. As Deku says, alright then. First off, you accuse me of killing people. Alright then. Then he looks at Nezu and says, well then, since I am supposedly accused of being a murderer, tell me, the murders that the people that I just killed have committed, were they going to bypass the conduct code and not get executed? No, they were not. They were gonna get executed either way. It was either life in jail or execution, and I did the job for you, which means all of them were actually gonna get executed. So I don't understand who you're trying to put in jail, but even if you try to put me in jail, let's just say it wouldn't end well for you. As take in mind, Bakugo's yelling out and saying, haha, the damn nerd's going to jail, as Deku grabs Bakugo and slams Bakugo into the ground, making a 15-foot hole, and Bakugo has to explode back up there with a broken neck. As Recovery Girl can't fix that, and Mitsuki tried to sue him. As Deku says, how about the trial be after the sports festival? Mitsuki says, fine, I don't care, you're still getting sued. As Deku says, oh, it's about to be the other way around after that moment. As Mitsuki says, I don't care. As now, we skip to the sports festival. Over this time, Deku has smashed multiple times, and he can get her pregnant anytime, but he says, no, not yet. Because we're not 18 yet, so she will get pregnant after they graduate from college, alright? College, not high school, college. They still play games. Monoma, Kendo, and Tetsu, and Shinzo do not know it's them. Do not know it's them, so yeah. As every time Monoma goes to class 1A and tries to start a problem with Deku, he gets a sense of familiarity and familiar fear, that tells him, if you approach this person with ill intent, you will die. Because Deku always gave off that type of, aura to Monoma. When him and Monoma are alone, Deku don't play that with Monoma. He don't take shit from Monoma. When him, Kendo, Shinzo, Tetsu, and Minora are alone, Deku does not play that with Monoma. This man's Deku, 1 for all 5%, bitch slaps him. Like, he does not play that. So yeah, he got that sense of familiarity, but he doesn't know why. So, we skip to the sports festival. Why am I skipping all the way to the sports festival? Because I just feel like skipping to the sports festival. I am a failure. No. But that doesn't matter now, does it? No, it does not. Alright then. The world works in many mysterious ways, and I will probably be putting up What If Deku was abandoned by fate and destiny? Part 1, the redo, today. So, I wouldn't get my hopes that high up, but I would get my hopes up. So please tell me in the comments after I post What If Deku was abandoned by fate and destiny? Part 1, the redo, if you want more worlds. Alright, because currently I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I have 12 worlds. 12 worlds with many different races. So please tell me if you want a different person. Alrighty then. So, yeah. So, the sports festival, they say of races first. As Deku, he stands in the back with Minora. As he's holding Minora from the back. Yeah, he's holding her from the back. He's just hugging her from the back, alright? Not sexually, just hugging her from the back. As everybody says go, as Minora and Deku steps out in the tea, and the heroes see that, well, Deku's holding Minora from the back. They're like, are they doing something sexual? As Deku, he just backs up and says, alright, you can go first. I'll take my time. As Minora says, see, even though I know you won't be taking your time with them, you sure like to lie a lot. As Deku says, of course I do. Well, when it comes to, well, using my powers to give them an easy opportunity. And she says, yeah, I guess you're right. As Minora, she teleports there. Deku has teleportation too, because teleportation is a common space ability. Like, what, you think I'd make that shit advanced? No, that shit is easy. That shit is a common technique. A common technique. Unless like we're doing like the shit that Asta did, like with them, like with Finral and Vanessa with the whole string thing, with him going mad fast. Yeah, that's an advanced tech thing. But instead, it's not with strings, but with just space propulsions. Basically, he's been propelled. He's getting propelled by, well, the force of space. All right, that's an advanced tech thing. Deku learned it too, but he doesn't want to use it. So Deku, he's walking as he's right in front of a robot. As the robot is slapped Deku. Surprisingly, the Deku let the robot slap him. Everybody thinking that Deku is dead. Everybody thinks he's dead because of that slap. As they just see that his mask was turned off, it was slapped off. As they look at Deku's mouth, which is open, and see this. As they're like, what the hell is that in his mouth? As Mike says, can we get a zoom in? As they just zoom in and see this. As they're like, what? There is a clock in this young man's mouth. Does anyone know an explanation? Maybe his girlfriend. As Minora, she yells out, no, she doesn't yell out. She just said it. She just says, because like Midnight ran to her with the microphone. She says, I'm not obligated to explain anything. Ask him himself. As they said, okay. As Deku gets slapped by the robot. As he lifts his hand up to the robot's head and slaps the robot as well. But this time the robot's head flies off. As Deku just turns, picks up his mask, puts it back on, and walks away. Then he gets to the canyon, I think. Canyon part with the rope. Yeah. As everybody's on that part right now. As as Deku. I'm about to do a pro gamer move. Not on this part, but like when they get to the minefield. As Deku, he puts the mask down a little bit and says stop. And everybody's wondering, what is he talking about? Why did he stay stop? So then they see him go off course from the rope, and President Mike says, "Kid, stop! You're gonna die. You're gonna fall." As Deku, he just starts walking forward, and Mike think he gonna fall, but Deku, he just stands on air. Oh my fucking god! As if you're wondering about One for All, I think Bakugo got it right. Bakugo got it right. It was either Bakugo or Mirio. It's probably Bakugo. Yeah, cause I like doing Bakugo a lot. Yeah, I probably did Bakugo. I'm probably gonna take another nap after this. Alright, so Deku is just walking on air as President Mike sees this and like says, "What? How?" As Deku is just walking on air. First, when he slapped the robot's head off, everybody thought he had super strength. And take in mind, they can turn into their mystical beast as well, which means Deku can turn into this and this, as Minora can turn into this and this. But they'd rather not to. And they can have a form of, and they can have them appear so they can ride on it. So basically, they're like pets, their aura, their celestial beast, and their forms. So, shit. If you heard that, I'm bored. That was not a yawn, that was a groan. Not a moan either. Ow. Ow. As Deku is just walking from platform to platform as All Might's thinking all for one. As Deku, he knows All Might's thinking all for one. He just doesn't care. Like, whatsoever, he does not care what All Might's thinking. Like, anything that involves All Might, he does not care about it. So, yeah. Hold on. Alright. So, Deku, he does that as now it's time for the minefield. So much buildup for that weak ass yawn. Weak ass yawn, bro. So much buildup for that? Damn. So, Deku, now it's time for the minefield. Todoroki and Bakugo are all the way in front as Deku, he's just teleporting now. He's using space now. He's using space and teleporting on top of the mines, but the mines aren't exploding. And everybody's wondering how. In reality, Deku, he's floating on top of them. He's floating on top of the mines. He is floating on them, motherfuckers. He is floating on them, making it so that they won't explode. He's floating slightly above them, like about 3 millimeters. Yeah, 3 millimeters. Since 3 millimeters is the size of an atom, and you can't really see that. So, hold on. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. So, Deku does that. And he does that all the way to first place. And this is when Bakugo and Todoroki realize, oh my god, this guy's in front of us. As Deku ain't giving no fucks, just goes ahead and teleports all the way inside. As Minora already got first place. She got first place. As she already got first place. So, Deku just teleports inside and said Izuku was second place. As Deku goes right back to Minora which is sitting on a chair and lays down on her lap. And everybody is wondering what the fuck is their relationship. As Aizawa says, oh, those two are dating. As now Midnight says we'll be doing the cavalry battle. First place got 1 million points. As everybody's looking at Minora with ill intent. Deku, seeing Bakugo has the most ill intent, goes in front of Bakugo, smacks doo-doo out Bakugo's face. He smacks Bakugo so hard he will be shitting bricks for days. He smacks doo-doo out Bakugo's face. As everybody can hear the loud slap from his mouth. As Deku, he jumps and lands right in front of Midnight and says, give me the mic. As Midnight says, okay, as gives him the mic, as he grabs the mic and says, give me this shit. As Deku, he has the mic in his hand and says, alright, you little shits. I'm gonna say this now, loud and clear. She does not have the 10 million points. At all. She does not. I have it. You can come after me. As they're all yelling, no you don't, she does. As Deku, he throws the microphone to Minora, and Minora catches it and says, nope, he can have it, I don't need it. As she passes it back to Deku and says, thank you. Alright then, anyone want to come get it? You can try to get it, but best be known, you won't be getting past me. I'm telling you this now. That 1 million headband, trust me, there's no way in hell that you'll get it. As he throws it on the floor, Midnight tries to get it. As Deku, he says, did I say you could pick it up? As Midnight, she lets go and gets back up. As he says, good girl. As he kicks the microphone right into Bakugo's forehead. And Bakugo says, ah, you son of a bitch. As Deku says, yeah, say that louder. As Bakugo takes the microphone and yells, you son of a bitch. As Deku says, yeah, even louder. As he says it even louder. And Deku yells out, so loud your mom can hear it. As he yells so loud that the noise went out of the stadium. And Mitsuki heard it. Mitsuki heard it, recognized the voice, and said, if he yells out son of a bitch, somebody definitely did something. Bitch Mitsuki came sprinting, no, forget sprinting, booming into that stadium and yelled, who the fuck hurt my son? As Deku, he makes the mic float to him and says, me, bitch. As Mitsuki says, that's it, I'm gonna beat your ass. As Bakugo says, yeah, now that my mom's in it, we gonna beat your ass. As Deku says, yeah. Yeah, we'll see that happen. As she is right next to Mitsuki. Like, she has the most uninterested face out of all time. Mitsuki looks down and says, what do you want, squirt? As Minoru looks at her and says, nah. And she just walks away. Mitsuki grabs Minoru's shoulder, to which she gets the back of a foot to the face from not Minora, but Deku. Deku sends her flying into a wall. And she's knocked out. Bakugo says, hey, what the hell? As Bakugo says, you know what? I got you in the cavalry battle. As people like Mina, Denki try to team up with Deku. Deku, not having it, says, get the fuck away from me. Now, as they said fine in angry tone as they walk to their group with Bakugo. As Deku ain't giving no shit, seems over Minora. Why? Because that's his girl. So, yeah, cavalry battle goes relatively the same, except for Deku ends up with a 1 million headband. Why? Because everybody that goes near him gets slapped the fuck out of them. Alright? He slaps the living doo-doo out of them. The shit, the fuck, the bitch. Alright? He slaps everything out of them. So, now we start with the 1v1 fights. As the most wonderful anticlimactic scene of all time. The most surprising scene of all time. Oh, I have not walked with my bare feet on my floor for mad long. This shit feels satisfying. Let's get into this. Alright, now I can walk faster since I'm comfortable with where I'm walking. Alright then. So, first is Deku versus Shinzo. As President Mike says, in the first match, we have Hisoshi Shinzo against Izuku Midoriya, as everybody says. Izuku Midoriya, the kid that was framed for being the UA traitor and casted out, as and said, where is he? As Bakugo and friends are wondering, where the hell is that nerd? As they see this person walk out. As Bakugo says, hell no! No way you're Deku. As Deku says, believe what you want to believe. As the girl said, wait, if that's Midoriya, Deku, then you're, as Minora says, yup, I'm Minora. As they're saying, shit, we fucked up. As they did fucked up. They done fucked the fuck up. They fucked up. So, Hisoshi says, I mean, do we really have to? I mean, like, we're good friends. You could go easy on me. Deku says, I don't think easy is a comment that should be said to me. As Hisoshi says, shit, you right. So, like, how is this gonna go? Am I gonna get, like, rocked, clapped? So, like, how you gonna beat me? As Deku says, I'm gonna do it relatively quickly. I'm not gonna lie. I'll make sure I knock you out, too. So, I'll make sure I'll put you to sleep so you don't feel the pain while you're knocked out. As Shinzo says, that would be greatly appreciated. To which Deku, he teleports right in front of Shinzo, grabs Shinzo by the head, presses that nerve, puts Shinzo to sleep. And take in mind, Kurogiri has still not been awoken. So he is still asleep. As he punches Shinzo out of the ring. Now Shinzo just lands on the floor as Deku snaps his finger and Shinzo wakes up. As he says, I didn't feel any pain. As, oh wait, you won. Bye. As, next, instead of Bakugo versus Uraho, it is Minora versus Minora. As Minora's family and Deku's mom finally decided to look at how, well, society is now, and look at the sports festival and heard what happened. They're like, wait, what? As they said, how are they outside of jail? As Inko and Minora's family pull up and said, how are you not in jail? As Nezu says, they were not villains. As Inko, feeling bad, and says, Izuku, sweetie, please come back. As Izuku, he puts his middle finger up and says, I'm not part of the Midoriya family. Don't call yourself my mother, my relative, or anyone close to me. Now dip. I didn't invite you. As Inko hearing this, and she feels heartbroken. As Minora's family goes to grab Minora, Deku goes to grab Minora. As Deku, he appears right behind Minora's dad, grabs him by the shoulder and says, you don't know what you're doing, do you? As he slams Minora's dad onto the floor, making that nigga go splat. Alright? Minora's dad goes splat on the floor. Minora's family members are yelling, saying, oh my god, he's dead. And Minoru Mineta, he's in the anime. Alright. Minoru, but he is not in class 1A. Alright? He's in Shiketsu. As he says, sis, let's go home. As Minora says, yeah, y'all not my family, because y'all were so quick to actually abandon me right after you heard I was a villain, without even hearing my part of the story. So I don't think so. And plus, I already have my own home. As Minora's mom said, yeah, right. I'll be waiting for when you come back begging to be in this house again. As Deku says, no need, because she won't be coming back anytime soon. And by anytime soon, I mean never. And take in mind, Deku and Minora's teachers are there right now. Because the month for them going on break is over. As they appear in the ring, and As Hex says, "Oh, why hello there, Izuku and Minora." As Izuku and Minora look to the side and said, "Hex!" As Hex says, "How are you?" As Alfecta goes and hugs Deku, as Deku hugs Alfecta back and says, "How was your break?" As Chrono says, it was good. I mean, we got a lot of stress off our backs, right?" As the two, this one and this one, said, "Yeah." As quite honestly speaking, I was thinking about making Alfecta and Hex a thing, but then again, I don't want to. I don't want to, so I'm not gonna make them a thing. Alright? But if you guys want to consider them a thing, you can consider them a thing, but I'm not considering them a thing. Alright, so yeah. So, they do that as the teachers come down as the top 10 heroes come down and say, "Who are you? Are you villains?" As Deku says, as Endeavor goes to attack Alfecta, and Deku, he grabs Endeavor by the head and says, "I'm gonna tell you this once and only once. You attack her, you're attacking the gods. You attack him, you're attacking the gods. You attack the other one, you're attacking the gods. You attack a god, you're going to fucking die." As Endeavor's like, "Yeah, right, there's no way they're gods." As Alfecta says, "Izuku, just let him go. It's not like he can hurt us. I mean, yeah, you may be stronger than us, but still. It's not like they could hurt us in any way." As Hex says, "Yeah, she's right." As Deku, he says, "Nezu, I want you to do me a favor." As Nezu says, "What is it?" As Deku says, "Top 3 heroes versus top 3 gods. Better yet, top 5 heroes versus top 5 gods. Which is Hex, Kronos, Alfecta, me, and Minora versus the top 5 heroes." As All Might jumps down, as All Might, Hawks, Edgeshot, I think his name is Edgeshot, and the bunny hero, Miracle. Oh yeah, jumped down and said, "Sure, why not?" As he says, "But what's the order?" As Deku says, All Might versus Hex, Kronos versus Endeavor, Alfecta versus Hawks, and quite honestly, Hawks, out of everybody here, you got the easiest one. Because she will actually go easy on you. If it was me, you'd probably be a bowl of fried chicken right in front of my very eyes, right at this very moment being eaten. Because Minora would be cooking you for dinner tonight." As Hawks is scared shitless and says, as he gulps and says, as you just hear that, as then it is Miracle versus me, which is Deku, and Edgeshot versus should I say the Minora, as All Might saying, as All Might walks up to Hex and says, "You strongest god, you don't even look like the strongest human." As Hex says, "Well, size doesn't say it all, does it?" As Hex, he is in human form, so the thing you see here is not what Hex looks like. As this is Kronos and Alfecta don't look like this either. As Deku says, "Alright then," as Uraraka gets clapped by Minora, and Deku claps Todoroki, and then he claps Bakugo, and now it's time for the top 5 versus top 5. First is Hex versus All Might, as All Might says, "I won't be holding back, so I hope you don't as well." As Hex says, "Sorry, but I'll have to hold back a lot." But I'll allow you to see my appearance. That's the one thing I could do for you that is not killing you. As a flashing light happens around all five as Deku, as Hex turns to this, Kronos turns to this, Alfecta turns to this, as the mask on Kronos' head appears on Deku's face, on Deku's head, except for the mask part. And Minora's head turns hair turns galaxy colors, and the cube appears as the time thing and the staff appears in Deku's arms, as they're like, what the hell? Impossible. As Alfecta turns into this, as Deku has the same thing, but remember the robe, it's longer than Alfecta's. So yeah, as top 5, they look at them and they're like, oh no, we fucked up. As All Might gets clapped, Endeavor gets clapped, Hawks gets clapped, Edgeshot, Miriko gets clapped, alright? They got clapped, alright, so now they said, okay, we're the top 5, but we don't want to be top 5. You guys can keep your status. As they're like, but why? Hex says, well, I don't want your measly title. I'm god of the universe, so I don't really find your title to be that amazing. As Deku says, yeah, he has a point, as all of them nod in agreement, as the hero said our titles are not that important to them. As, yeah. So that happens. So, Deku wasn't having shit with Almighty Man. Like, at all. So, yeah. So, now it's time for the award ceremony. This time, since All Might can't do it, they had Nezu do it. And for the number 1 medal, Deku throws that shit away, looks at Nezu, picks Nezu up, and says, this is our number 1 spot award. We're taking him home. He's eating dinner with us. Is Nezu thinking he about to get cooked? But when he gets home, he surprisingly sees... He gets a surprise of Minora cooking. And she makes food. As he says, dig in. As Nezu says, do you have any tea? Deku says, I have green tea. You should drink it after you eat. You should not drink while you eat. It is bad for your health. As Nezu says, okay. As they eat, and then they come in the next day, basically, with Nezu looking chubby as hell. And they were like, Nezu, what happened? Nezu says, she made some good food. I ate. I gained weight. That kind of rhymes. I ate, I gained weight. So, yeah. So, they hear that said, and they look at Deku and says, what did you do to him? As they said, we gave him food. What did you expect us to give him? As they were like, okay, fair point, but still. I was about to cause a crime. So yeah, I'm gonna be ending it off here, guys. This was it for today. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Lotus What Ifs out. Bye, my little star.